Florida has become the hotbed of a story that is just as tragic as it comes. 14-year-old Trevor Lee is now the subject of investigation after he had left his home, walked a mile to a church to call 911 to report something he had done to both his parents. When he got on the phone with the operator, he told them what had happened and then asked them for prayers. Now, what he divulged to them was something that was so heinous, necessarily to the fact that it was his parents, that it leaves many of us in shock as to the why and how it could possibly have happened. Approximately 12:30 a.m., August 4th of this year, little Lee walked to the payphone next to a church about a mile away, called the authorities, and told them that he had ended the lives of both his parents, David Lee and Brandy Smith. Now, what he had told them was that he was really requesting prayers for it and he was waiting for them to come pick him up. He had discarded everything that he had walked with off to the side and they found him just sitting there. Now, years prior to, the mother had posted what you're seeing on the screen before you. And this is what gave us a little bit of pause. In the comment section that she put up, she said this was back in March 18th, 2019. This little boy gives me pure hell. Everything I did to my parents, I'm getting back times 10. Y'all keep us lifted up in prayer. Then fast forward to right now, and he is now held for the death of both his parents after he shot them. Now, the gun that he used, he did find within the confines of the home. And it stemmed from what they said was a domestic argument, unknown as to what the contents of the argument was. But from everything stemming from the story, people seem to be coming forward saying he was such a good boy, had such good grades. They're the best family I knew. And all these issues now that the problem is in the ether. Now, there had been some tensions, apparently, alleged tensions, over some teen issues he was having. What they were, unknown yet. But he did go and take the family-owned firearm, used multiple rounds upon them, and left them in the bedroom, called the police. They showed up at the house around 12:30 a.m. They found the bodies in the bedroom, and now he's being charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Now, they're not quite sure whether they are going to apply a premeditation aspect to it since they don't have a whole lot of information. And he does no statement as to yet as whether he's going to be tried as an adult. He could be held in confinement if he's going to be tried as an adult until he turns the age of 21. But there is also an option of him being charged at the age of 14. Now, the second degree murder charge in Florida is punishable with up to life in prison if he is charged as an adult. That's still to be decided. They're going to have some pathological examinations done to him. There could possibly be some kind of psychosis that sets in. Most kids are not necessarily that way, but some will protect themselves with trauma going on in the home by outperforming many others in school. So what people might have been seeing as this grandiose, great student could have been his way to hide whatever was happening at the home, whether that be it was abuse or not, or this a disgruntlement between the two. He wasn't good enough. Everything revolved around pray for this and pray for that. It could be a myriad of issues that could have been happening behind closed doors that nobody knew about. But what they are sure about is that this was a domestic case and he was not posing a threat to anyone else. So they did not see the need to react to him in such a way as though the public was a problem. He has no history of mental illness. Outside of the post that she made in 2019, there doesn't seem to be anything else that suggested that the young boy might be having some other problems that people knew about. As far as we know, he is still being held. If this what we're hearing from the mother in 2019 is any bearing on what happens in the home, it could be by, and I'm sorry to say, it could be from their own making. I've never understood why parents would take to social media to say certain things about their child, as if the child can't see it. A 9-10-year-old can easily have their own friends and their parents, and they can see certain things that their parents post about them, and their friends will tell them, hey, man, I don't know if you saw what your mama put up about you and this and blah. And that could easily be the seeds of discourse in the home. To us, this seems like a very poor move on the mother's part to post something like this. To put on social media that your son is giving you pure hell instead of seeking help offline away from people makes no sense. If you are really having this much of a hard time as a parent with your child, please seek help. You don't know what exactly. Suppose it is true that the child was indeed giving her hell. And now you've just solidified in that child's mind that you are not the person to be trusted. You have just created an enemy. And that enemy over time will become something that will be absolutely a problem for you, especially the bigger they get. Now, from the pictures we've seen of the young man, he's not a small child at 14. He seems to be a fairly large guy. Now, you combine that with whatever might be happening hormonally with a 14-year-old, and you have a concoction that can go off in a very detrimental way and did. We're not saying any of this could have happened, but for an argument for an A student and a model family to go from an argument to lives being ended, there must have been some underlying problem that neither parent or child got taken care of. We see this all too many times with parents that do not know how to navigate the field, and they do not know how to reach out for help, or they exacerbate the problem by acting as though they're right when they're actually wrong. Not all parenting strategies work. From what we could see, the child looked in the pictures that something was wrong, whether that was because of her or something else. Something was troubling that young man, whether that be by his own doing or something that either mother or father did. He still decided to take out whatever his trauma was out on them. Even if they didn't do it, he may have felt they didn't do anything to stop it. If they were the cause of it, then he found a way to stop it. We never know what's going on behind closed doors, but at the same time, we offer this bit of advice. If you are a parent, do not resort or go to social media to expunge what's going on with you emotionally, especially about your child. In today's social media, everything you post, your child will see, whether by their own or somebody else bringing it to them, that they have a parent that does the same thing, and they will find it. And now your child knows something that you have internally that you should have kept there or dealt with. And now you've just created a monster, whether you wanted to or not. Our condolences go out to the family because this is a tragic situation. Could have been avoided, unknown at this point. But it is a tragic situation, both for the son and for the lives that are ended with his mother and father and all those who have been affiliated with them. When we know more about the situation in terms of whether he'll be tried as an adult or not, we'll let you know. The official cause of death, again, is by multiple gunshot wounds. And they're waiting, again, to see whether or not any psychosis or a mental thing will be caught up and have him evaluated to see if something might have just snapped, if he was well thinking, or if this was actually just a crime of passion due to something that took place in the home. Now, again, this is not a typical kind of a case. It happens very rarely. It's like a 3% thing throughout the United States of people being killed by their child. But at the same time, a lot of it's been happening around the same age group between 13 and 18. So there must be something going on either by influence of home or influence of social media that's causing more people to behave a certain way within a time frame. And it always seems to be within that developmental age of them either trying to find their own identity and way in the world and still navigating being a kid. And maybe that is the whole idea as to why things don't seem to work out, because they have no guidance between that age group, either because the parent doesn't know or the parent refuses to know. We'll keep you posted as soon as we know, and we'll update you when we have more information.